Hello everyone, a quick update on why this is out an hour early. So we'll be reviewing the Kumite New Blood show as you're watching right now. But I've released this an hour early because at 8 o'clock tonight, Alton Thorne is streaming a watch along of CCW, I believe it's Tournament 1, which he's going to be doing every week. So go check that out, and I believe he's doing it with Hollywood Fletcher, of all people. So I've decided to release this an hour early because it makes sense. Watch this and then go get drunk with Alton Thorne. Let's get to the review. Goodbye. Hello everyone and welcome back to the HCW YouTube channel. My name is Rate Wrestle and once again we are joined by Alton Thorne. How are you doing?
Not bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, as I said, living the dream. As people have noticed, I'm now shaved and look presentable, which is weird, to say the least. But yeah, we are here to discuss the recent Kumite show, which was on July 16th. It went by Kumite New Blood, I believe was the exact title of it. Which obviously says what it says on the tin. It was showcasing a lot of new people towards Kumite, but you still had a lot of the veteran scene. And it was a sold-out crowd. Absolutely rammed. And I loved it.
Yeah, I was thinking about not doing this podcast this time because I thought people have got to be getting sick of the sound of my voice. Because loads of shows are asking me to do promos, and I've done quite a few podcasts recently, and I was thinking, I think people are going to be sick of me. But then that show happened, and I thought, there's no way I can't talk about
I was
that.
going to say.
Because for my money, it's the best Kumite show we've done so far.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Overall, as said, like the crowd really enjoyed it. So we will kick off. So we had the team of Tyler Owens and Blushi versus the well-teamed team of Jason, Joshua, and Roughneck. That went really well for that team, I'll be honest. So basically, for a lot of the match, Blushi and Tyler Owens were working on Jason. Obviously, there was no kind of cooperation between Jason and Roughneck. Roughneck kept getting in because he was getting annoyed, getting his team in control, and then Jason would just get like a bit frustrated and he would lose control again. And then Roughneck just walked out on the guy.
Yeah, well, Roughneck's a bit of a prick, really, isn't he?
Yeah,
So...
there's no like hiding it like that.
No, I think Roughneck, I heard him cutting a promo after the show that will be, I think it's going to be on the released version that goes to YWTV.
Yeah.
And it was pretty passionate to say the least. And I don't think it's finished between him and Tyler Owens yet, which I'm very happy to see because I would like to see those two ramp it up a little bit. Plus, also you get to see Jason Joshua potentially finding new allies, which is good.
Yeah.
You know, because there's been a little bit of interplay recently with him and Magic Mark. It'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah, especially
this is the one match that I didn't see much of because I was upstairs preparing for my match. But I did poke my head around the door at the top just in time to see Roughneck pick up Tyler Owens above his head and throw him into the umbrella outside of the ring.
My notes was literally Roughneck Bam Bam's Tyler. That's literally up right there. It's when you see it on IWTV, it's not the fun sight. Tyler doesn't go well into that post.
No, it looks horrible. Basically his body swings around it when he hits it, which is not pleasant.
But yeah, it was a fun match. It's always fun when Blushi's involved in a match anyway. But yeah, it was a fun overall match. And then obviously Jason kind of he's gone down a dark route by teaming with Roughneck and stuff, but he kind of showed he's a bit of compassion with obviously what happened with Tyler and Blushi, so that's good. Moving on via that, so it's a mixed order this time around. Normally with Kumite, you've kind of got the like the make way shift into the deathmatch kind of things, except for obviously the last show where they had to start off quite deathmatchy at the start. But this was with Jack Bennett versus Big Joe. I described this match in the preview. It just looks like a dad that's got really angry as his son, and now he's just decided this is it. But this was crazy. Did you get to see much of this?
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of it in clips, and I saw a fair bit of it on the day. I think the reason that they've done that, put the deathmatch in the second position on the show, is because the reaction when they had the deathmatch on the first match of the show was kind of a little bit weird, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody was expecting it. So everybody really enjoyed the match, but it came out of nowhere and people weren't warmed up for it, and they were like, "Whoa, what's cracking off here? This is what we're used to at Kumite." And I think Matt and Fletcher very much of the mindset of, well, anything can happen at Kumite, so now we need to show the fans that you can have the death match on second, and the show will still flow. It will still, it will still build to a crescendo. And I think like that match was the perfect one to do it because, like you say, it had its own dynamic, right? You've got Jack, who's very, very young and quite a bit smaller than Joe, who and relatively like laid back and calm, whereas Joe's like a whirling dervish, just a chaotic, like some kind of demon, and I think it made Jack have to up his game because I remember saying last time he took a bit of a pounding from Antonio at times. Like he put up a fight, but Antonio got a bit of attitude these days and wanted to show that he was the man. Whereas Jack in this match, I think he even pulled out the win, didn't he? So
yeah, he pulled out a big win. So for people who've seen it, I won't spoil a lot of some of the stuff that happened within the match because you just need to see it to believe it. But there is one clip that's all over the Kumite from the drone that everyone was really confused by the drone and thought that something odd was happening anyway. But Jack, for anyone that's seen Vines Bar, there's like a little sheddy hut in the corner, and Jack decided to jump off that and do an amazing frog splash. Check it out on Twitter; it's just incredible.
do check it out because he broke his wrist in two places.
Didn't know that.
I spoke to him a few days ago. He said he'd done it on the dive. It looks fucking amazing. Like the airtime that he gets is incredible, but it's a very, very hard landing.
You can tell clearly now.
Yeah. He's got a couple of months out now, so everybody enjoy that moment. He's only got a couple of months out, and that clip will be bouncing around for a long time to come, and on lots of Kumite's like highlight reels and what have you. So, hopefully people will remember it. I think it looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, the drone really helped as well with the kind of shot afterwards. Like seeing it live by like the ground, because I was next to the hut, so I could barely see him. All I saw was him appear. Whereas seeing it from the drone footage is incredible. But yeah, incredible match. Jack Bennett picked up a big win against Joe, so obviously that kind of pushes him towards the Death Wolf title. So we'll see what happens when he does appear again after his layoff, clearly. But we'll move into a match that obviously you're heavily invested in because you're in it. So it was yourself and Harley, the team of Hellbound, versus Carl Kingsley and his hired mountain, was probably the best way of saying Gallus. So you're probably the best person to talk about this.
I made it quite clear when I came down to the ring that it wasn't going to be any kind of normal match, and then took some nettles out and chased Kingsley, and he ran.
He ran.
For a big fella, he moved quick.
Yeah, it was like a Benny, literally gone. Just hold on.
And then Harley, from the footage that I've seen, actually got some good lickings in against Gallus, and it looked like she was going to do all right. And then, Gallus is like 27 stone or something. So
she did show because when you first see the sight of it, it's Harley against this massive man, but she did she ain't backing down.
She backed him up with elbows. She elbow strikes to the corner, and he backed up, and he didn't have a choice but to back up because she was laying those in.
Yeah, he didn't expect it, someone to actually go at him.
Then I made the stupid mistake of trying to run at Kingsley through the ring without properly surveying my surroundings, because this this is one of the issues that I've always had as a wrestler, is that like like you've seen the difference between me when I'm out of the ring and me in
Yeah.
the ring, right? There's a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm a very different person, but like when I'm in the ring, I'm in a zone. Like I'm fully like focused, like I'm in that Alton Thorne zone that I get
Mm.
into. And sometimes I'm not astute enough to pay attention to all of my surroundings. It's something I've worked on as a wrestler for years. And as I'm running through the ring, Gallus swings some wooden thing at me and about takes my
Yeah.
head off. And then I spend the next 5 or 10 minutes of the match getting absolutely trounced by them. Gallus puts nettles up my shirt and stands on them. Remember 27 stone? Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Not good.
sucked. Um, then they tried. Fucking hell. They tried to target Harley, but she's too hard for him,
Yeah.
and just eventually got out of dodge. We fought back a little bit, but the numbers, basically, it's two big guys, and they had a strategy, and it paid off, and they got the win. I was tied up in the ropes, nettles
Yeah.
shoved down my mouth. They got the win, but that's fine. That can happen in multi-man matches. Sometimes you win, you lose. Things can happen. I was tied up in the ropes. It took me a while to get out. I couldn't get to the pin. I'm not pissed off about that. But what I do, I draw the line at Kingsley going and getting glass after the match and threatening to hit Harley with it, because
Mm.
Harley, I said this online, Harley's one of the toughest people I know. She's got um, some medical issues that she wrestles through, and the
Yeah.
style of wrestling that she does, she's tough as it gets. But what she's not is a deathmatch wrestler. She hasn't signed up for the
Yeah.
glass and stuff. She doesn't need to be put in that environment, right?
Mhm.
That match was specifically like, it was no rules, but it was quite
Yeah.
clear that it was not a death match. Now, when you start introducing glass and stuff, then you've made that decision to take it up to the next level. Because I didn't do that, right? I used nettles in normal matches. I
Yeah.
had a match at South Pro a couple of months ago that was purely nettles. There were kids in the crowd. It wasn't a death
Yeah.
match, right? What Kingsley's done by trying to hit Harley in the head with glass is raise it to the next level. And that next level is my level. It's where I sit at, right? So now Kingsley's going to have to think long and hard about what he's doing with his career, because he's going to find himself in a position that I've never been in this position before, where I'm like actually pissed off with somebody and I'm in a death match with, because like usually it's like against the deathmatch outlaws, I'm trying to prove that I belong with the best, or against against BA Rose, it's who's the best big man.
Yeah.
Like, it's never been personal. But what Kingsley's done is he's made it personal. So if I was him, I'd be really fucking scared, because I don't know what I'm capable of in this situation. Honestly, I don't know what I'm capable of, because I've never been this angry, like
Yeah.
legitimately fucking angry in a wrestling scenario. You don't do that. Everybody knows that death matches. It's a different. It's not even the same genre. So you don't try and involve people. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Next
Um.
next Kumite show is going to be very, very, very bad news for him.
Yeah, man, it
Simple as
has
that.
been made official, hasn't it? Yeah. That, he's signed his death sentence. Really. You don't really want to go against someone that is a deathmatch wrestler in their own game.
No, no. He said online a few days ago. He said, "Oh, I don't know deathmatch wrestling, but I've got a degree in Alton Thorne, because he's wrestled me like 20 times down the years." And I think you don't know this, mate. You don't know what it's like to pick glass out of your arms when you get
Hmm.
home, or you don't know what it's like to be stood at a sink pulling bits of glass out of your lip because somebody's just smashed a light tube across your mouth. You don't know what it's like to not be able to see out of your own eyes because the blood is covering your face, and you're having to wipe away the blood because all you can see is crimson, and you might get attacked from any angle. He doesn't know this shit, but he's going to find out in August.
Exactly, and to throw the kind of thing, you ran away when you were chasing him with nettles, let alone when you're actually going to be fully sanctioned to do whatever you want. Um, But yeah, we'll move on. Via
Sorry, I
that.
know,
So
I know, I went off on
no,
one,
no, no,
but
no.
like,
That's what this is here for. I'm not going to stop your. I don't want to stop it. I'll be honest, for the safety of me. So yeah, we move on to a match which is a. It was kind of a hoss fight between Lunicks and the debuting Franco Fate. So they're very multi-talented guys. Obviously, Lunicks and background in every kind of fighting known to man boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing. Didn't know much about Franco until Malachi informed me on the preview show, and he just kind of bigged up the match even more in my head. And it didn't disappoint. It was just two guys kicking the crap out of each other in a non. It would remind me of like your match with Gary J. It's not a death match, but it might as well have been.
exactly,
Just two guys kicking
exactly.
the crap out of each other.
That's what's one thing that Fletch wants to start doing more. He told me is like kind of platforming, just different styles of wrestling that get the same kind of spotlight as the death matches on the show. So like these hard hitting, strong style matches. It's not a coincidence that you're seeing more of them. It's something that he wants to introduce to add another facet to Kumite that people can be really interested in. Because like you got guys that we've used in the past, like Will Cruz, who are some of the hardest
Yeah.
hitting heavyweights in the country. So there's always room for those kind of guys on the show. And Franco's a good friend. He came up through House of Pain where I trained. So I was always very keen to get him on the shows because I thought he would be a good fit. What I didn't realise was that they're going to put him up against Lou straight away. I mean, it's about as challenging as it
Sink
gets
or
at
swim in it,
Kumite.
yeah, really.
But he held his own completely,
No,
didn't he?
definitely.
I know he didn't pick up the win, and I mean the money was against him picking up the win. Your first time against Lou, you're gonna have to do something special to pick up the
Yeah.
win. But he was in there. It was pretty much 50-50. Like up until the end, it was pretty much 50-50 match. They were odds even. And I thought it was fascinating. And some of the moves, like the Regal Plex that Franco hit on Lou, was like tight and nasty. I thought he could get this here. He could pick up the win. It was like that all the way through, striking. Just they hit a double clothesline and popped up like some
Yeah, brutal
New
moves,
Japan,
yeah.
like All Japan back in the 90s stuff. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, brilliant match. Brilliant match.
Very good match. So it said Nixon picked up the win by a chokeout, but Fate did really well, and I'm really happy he's going to be at the next Kumite show as well.
Yeah, they're both bringing their tag team partners. It's going to be the powers that be, which is Franco Fate and Brad Matthews, who is one of the best wrestlers to come out of the Midlands in the past few years, against BTT, Britain's top team, which is Lou Nixon and Brett Semtex, who is like DOA champion at the
Yeah,
moment.
okay.
He's done quite a bit for Rise. Like the guys that Kumite are bringing in now are like a step up. Like they're bringing in guys that are like really making a name for themselves, like already hot on the scene. And Brad Matthews and Brett Semtex are two great examples of that because this match is going to be very similar. Again, it's going to be four men beating the fuck out of each other, which is kind of my favorite thing to watch. So I'm,
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Well, two men is fun. Being four men beat the crowd was even better. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it because I said like Franco Fate seeing him first time live, he didn't disappoint at all, and Lou Nixon is just incredible,
Yep.
sillily incredible.
I mean, they both look the part as well. Like you wouldn't fight either of them, would you?
No,
Like
no.
so the whole thing, like the visuals, like the way that they were hitting each other, I thought it was like I knew it was going to be the sleeper hit of the show that people wasn't expecting to be as good as it was, and kind of walked away going, "Oh yeah, that was really good."
Yeah.
And I think that's what it did.
And it did, and that's why it's been brought back for the next show. We've added more fire into it. Talking of, I nearly went with fire, but it was a lot of smoke. So we had Clint versus Tombi. Tombi decided he's got his stick with the smoke that comes out of it. He threw it on the mat, and it just wouldn't stop. That's the thing. I've never seen so much smoke come out of it.
I heard that the promoter was scared to death and they were going to burn the place down. Looked good though, didn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, this was a match which, like, with having Clint like a veteran of the deathmatch scene, and then Tombi being an absolute psychopath, it was just one of their matches where it was just hell for leather, light tubes, trash cans, massive moves from both guys. So it wasn't just full on like let's hit each other and see what happens. Like they wrestled, which was good, like big moves, big matches. And they added the. It's always good to see barbed wire in a death match, and they didn't disappoint with that either.
No, they uh two of the best on the scene at the moment. So you know you're going to get a good match, and you know they're both going to bring it. Thought Clint he got sprayed in the face with a fire extinguisher at one point, and I thought he was going to have to he might have to call it a day there because he was like he must have swallowed a lot of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
it went straight in his face. Like there
yeah,
was no.
he went pale. He was grasping around for water. I thought, wow, he took that flush. That was about as like as bad as it gets. Oh, and he took a horrible. He was thrown from the second rope onto a bin with. Like, I know you don't like to say too much, so I'll leave it there. But like, there was some nasty looking spots
Yeah,
in
it was
this
just
match.
it was hard. Like that one, I made like the bin one because it came back in my mind as soon as you said it was bin, light tubes on top of the bin. Clint just went back first, like, and it's like the back end of the bin as well, like standing up straight. It wasn't on its side, so it was just he bounced. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it looked horrible. It
Yeah.
looked horrible.
Um.
Um,
But yeah,
uh,
Clint. This big win for Clint as well.
yeah, well, it's made him number one contender, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Um, so and rightly so because Tombi's on a tear at the moment, so it makes sense for Clint to be in that position. Clint versus Darko will be a really good match. Um, glad to see Tombi lose. Always happy to see that.
Should get that in there at the end. That's nice. But yeah, so we'll move on. As you mentioned him, Darko, the main event, Darko versus Gonzalez. Darko is on a roll at the moment. Incredible, like match quality as well. Like this was just a war. And it was just some of it was hard to watch on the war, as in like they kicked the crap out of each other.
Well, I put on Twitter as I was watching it that it was world-class deathmatch wrestling.
Yeah.
This is two guys that are two of the best in the country, proving that they're two of the best in the country. There was no limits. They put everything on the line, you know, for 20, 25 minutes. They just fought in. And Gonzalez had already had a match against Big Joe on the Friday and was sliced to ribbons already. So that was his second huge match of the weekend. And I think this was his weekend to prove that he belonged up there with the top guys and the big guns. That's what the New Blood name was about, right?
Yeah.
Here's the New Blood. Let's see if they can hang with the guys that have been doing this at Rise, right? And Gonzalez more than proved that he can hang with the absolute best because that's what Darko is. He's one of the best in the world. That's why he's going over to CZW. That's why ICW keep bringing him over. He's one of the best, and we're lucky to have him as champ at the moment. And I cannot wait to take that belt off him.
Fair enough. But yeah, so this like Gonzalez definitely deserves to be there now. He's just every match I've seen of him like Kumite live has just been incredible. And he's a sick fuck, which pretty much he gets in the zone when he's in like the middle of the match. Like outside, he's pretty sound guy. But inside the ring, if you just spoke to him, he'd probably hit you in the just yeah.
Yeah. Kind of quiet and unassuming outside the
Yeah.
ring, but you can see the demon in his eyes when he's wrestling, you know?
Oh, he loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He does.
But yeah, Darko did retain the title, and he said he's going to be facing Clint at the next Kumite show, which obviously we'll bring out a preview. I'll bring Malachi back on because he loves it. This time he'll probably be in Suds and Soda again. I visited there before we kind of go off of that. It's a nice bar.
Yeah, it's all right.
I
It's all
do
right.
like
I like it.
craft beers when you go in one week and it's changed the whole menu. I like that kind of place where you're not going back and it's just a Carlin every time you go back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyone, this will be out on IWTV. Probably not by the time this is released, but check it out as soon as possible because this is going to be going out tonight. I'm going to try and get it out as soon as possible tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or I might probably match it with IWTV. That probably make more sense. I'm going to do that. I learn. But yeah, anyone check out the Kumite. The tickets are on out now. I'll have the links in the description. The matches that have been announced so far are just great. Darko versus Clint, yourself versus Kingsley, and just Kingsley's murder. And then
Tombi versus Merc as well, coming over from America, which is going to be really interesting. I don't know if you've seen much of Merc, but he's very, very good. He's
Mercsism,
really, really interesting. And I think it's worth saying before we go that I think New Blood was, as a whole, kind of the best show that Kumite have done. It was 6 matches, so there wasn't a lot of padding, and every single match brought something different. And I think the reason the crowds are getting big is because we're going to keep bringing that energy. We're going to keep bringing it every single time. You know, they're going to keep booking matches that people want to see, and the wrestlers are going to do, because we love that place and we love that crowd. It's what wrestling's all about to me. It's what deathmatch wrestling's all about. Vine's bar on a Sunday pulls in more money than any other bar in Derby that day. I can guarantee you that. It's like we are on it, and it's brilliant. It's something different and special for the culture. So if you guys do get a chance, I strongly recommend pick up shows for the last show in August, because this one sold out and that one might as well. It may be the last show of the year. Hopefully not. I think we're building up good graces in Derby slightly now that we're making people money. So we'll see what happens. But in case it is the last show of the year, I don't think you should. People, if you can get down to the Midlands, there's only like 120 places and they sell like hotcakes. So get down there and see something special, because that last show is going to be a blinder.
Yeah, card-wise, check it out, like the insanity of it. And people don't realise this show as well, like, it was the best show that's happened, but it also was the soggiest show. Like, the amount of work that's gone in to kind of get that continuously going, because it's an outside venue and it's absolutely buzzing down.
Yeah, think about that. We didn't even mention the weather.
Yeah.
We didn't even mention it. Like, that's how little it mattered on the day. Like, we worked really hard to work around it. I don't say much good about Kingsley, but he does the ring, and him and his ring crew were very much on it and kept everybody safe, because it's, you know, when you're in a slippy ring and there's glass around, that's not a good combination. So they did a great job keeping everything going. Like, you've got to rate the ring crew highly for doing what they did and keeping it going through the day. The Act 2 lads and everything. But think about that. We didn't even mention it.
It just popped in my mind that it was raining. That's it. Just literally popped in.
It started slightly late. We had to hold off on the interval for a little while to let the rain stop again. It only spotted during Clint and Tombi's match, really. I don't know how we got away with it, but it went really fucking well. Hopefully August is the forecast is a little bit nicer to us, but either way, we'll get it done.
Yeah, I said, like, literally, I only just thought I remembered. Oh yeah, it rained. But yeah, that's the end of the review. So this will be out when it's out, clearly. As usual, like and subscribe. All the handles are on top for the HCW show. Alton's Instagram is there. His Twitter will be in the description. I don't know if you've decided on joining Fred's yet, or you've decided not to go anywhere near that yet.
Oh God, no! I struggle with the 2 that I've got, so I'll steer clear. If it takes off, if they turn Twitter into X and everybody skedaddles, then I might join it then.
Just when the ship's sinking, I might jump off it. Yeah.
Exactly. I like to be on the tail end of these things. You know, I'm not a
just you and Elon. But yeah, so thank you for coming on once again, mate.
No worries, mate. No worries.
So here, everyone.